and I could see in between the two trucks now, and there's a ladder, in between the two trucks, and there's a lot of movement from this side, and I see boxes going in between them. I'm like, what is going on here? And as I get closer, there's Larry Lunsford slinging boxes of shoes, just killing it, man. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long day. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
Larry's
yeah.
getting it, so you don't have to get it too.
Okay. Hey, Patrick, how are you, buddy? You're getting a groove on.
I was, man. It was awesome. What are you doing, Todd?
Well, I'm just playing those tunes. I might leave them roll for a little bit longer. It looks like you're having a good time. You've been traveling a lot, and
Uh-huh.
maybe you need a little break from sitting on that airplane. I want to welcome everybody to Membership Unplugged. This is our weekly member cast where we talk about all things membership and how you can grow your Rotary membership within your club and ideas and tips and maybe even launch a new club. And what else do we talk about, Patrick?
Everything. We
Everything.
have everything. We had
Everything
we
under the
had
sun.
Shep on last week, and we were talking about ultra running. It was
Yes.
awesome. It was great. You
And
know.
he's back up into Canada, and they're running
Mm.
again this weekend. So they've got a big race going on. So today, though, I think you were telling me a little story earlier, and I just got done working with the project. I want to talk a little bit about impact. We talk about Rotary and growing Rotary, but what's the point, right? What is it we do? It's not meetings, right? Ugh. Uh, it's not just a nice breakfast or lunch or whatever. Sometimes doesn't have to be, but we have that thing called impact. So talk to me. You experienced, I'm sure you've experienced lots of impact, but
Oh
you
yeah.
experienced something this weekend. Where were you at?
I was in Missouri. I was down at Lee's Summit, Missouri, District 6040. Great DG out there. DG Jody Sunderum was out there, and back in the fall, she had asked me if I could come to the conference, and I was like, absolutely. And Julie McCoy was there, our RMC friend, Rotary Membership Coordinator friend from Zone 31. Awesome. She was going to be there. We're going to do a little presentation together, talk about membership and
Nice.
everything. And I just, you ever been just like surprised when you shouldn't be surprised? I mean, 6040 is like, really special district. They got Kansas City 13 there. They got a lot of great clubs there. Um, but when you go in a talk membership, you've been invited to a district conference, you're thinking you're going to be in the wells of a hotel somewhere in a ballroom or, a conference room. And, there's going to be, microphones and stages and podiums and, pats on the back and certificates going around to everybody. And this was just none of that. It was absolutely none of it. So I kind of walked into this situation. We got there, Chris Jones and I went, and I got there Thursday night, and it was first of all, they gave us the directions to the place, and it was at the Rotary Youth Camp, and it was like a real camp, you know,
Okay.
beautiful buildings. I mean, the whole nine yards. It was just absolutely amazing. And I was like, oh, wow, wrote a really cool space for an event. And you walk in, and I was just thinking, what do they have, Ryla here or, something like
Sure.
that? And so we get there, and it's just like some basic remarks, then some barbecue, because if you in KC, you're going to get some barbecue. I think I had it for
Thanks for the
breakfast.
invite, by the way.
Yeah,
A
I
little
know,
being
that's what I'm saying.
sarcastic.
But I think it was like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Barbecue when you go to KC. It was awesome.
Barbecue eggs.
And Brian Hall was there. Director Hall was there, and
I saw a
he
picture of
welcomed the
him.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did great. And the camp is actually the longest running service project in Rotary history. The Kansas City Club, which is Club 13, has been doing it for well over a century. And it's a camp for disabled children.
Oh, okay.
Just absolutely amazing. So when you get in there and then you start looking into history around the room and this great hall that they have, the sides of the things roll up, and I mean just a really just cool thing. And I started seeing some signs on the thing where people were going up and signing, and it was like, painting and stuff like this. And I was like, oh, okay, what's going on? And then I was told that they were doing their 25th anniversary shoes for orphan souls. And I was
What
like,
is it
man,
called?
that's
Shoes?
shoes for orphan souls.
Okay.
Our president nominee, Rotary International president nominee, Larry Lunsford, is from that district. And 25 years ago, he had partnered up with organization Buckner International and collect shoes for places that are around the world. I think it originally started in Russia for the orphanages in Russia, but it's like Central America, Dominican Republic, a whole nine yards. And Brian on that Thursday, the reason I found out about all this stuff is Brian told like a really kind of personal story. And if you ever get a chance to hear the man tell this story, you'll be like, man, it's dusty in here. I mean, seriously. I mean, it changed his
I'm not
life,
crying. You're
man.
crying.
I
I'm not
was like,
crying.
man, what are you looking at, man? One of those type of things. It was pretty impactful. But I get there Saturday and I'm not knowing what's going on. And of course, I'm running a couple minutes behind. You know how that is because we're coming down from the airport. Oh, we'll make it in time. Through the crowd. And we pull up. And it's the weirdest sight you'll see. It was like, before you can even get to the camp, you have to walk down this gravel road. But before you even get there, there's a tractor trailer like here, and there's another tractor trailer here, and they're like almost touching, the backs back to
Big,
back. And I
big,
was like,
big
what
full
is,
size trucks.
yeah, big full size. One was, I found out later, one was 53 feet long. The other one was 48-foot long. One had UPS on it. Um, I was like, what is going on here? I guess this is the shoe collection. So I start walking towards it because you got to go by there. And I could see in between the two trucks now, and there's a ladder, in between the two trucks. And there's a lot of movement from this side, and I see boxes going in between them. I'm like, what is going on here? And as I get closer, there's Larry Lunsford slinging boxes of shoes
Larry.
from
Okay.
what Larry just killing it, man. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long day. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, yeah.
Larry's getting it, so you're gonna have to get it too. So we jump up in the truck. Chris Jones just gets up, and if you can imagine, I mean, it's not summer yet, but it got a little sweaty in there. And I'm wearing a t-shirt because they all said that we had to wear a t-shirt, the t-shirt. And I'm thinking to myself, the only thing I'm thinking up there, Todd, is I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm supposed to go on stage at 12:30. I'm gonna be a sweaty, ugly mess here, 35 minutes away from the hotel. Oh my gosh. But anyway, we get up there and you cannot possibly imagine. I mean, they'll give you numbers. They'll say 25,000 pair of shoes. They'll give you a number, 50-foot, 53-foot truck. But until you actually grab the boxes and you're just, there were 25, 30 people in the trucks combined, just unloading, loading. Larry's son was there. I mean, I don't know if
All
we could
shoe
have got,
boxes? Is that what we're talking
no,
about? Or
they were like
bins?
boxes packed with shoes in them, brand new shoes.
Oh, all brand new shoes.
All brand new shoes. So they went around, and I found this out later, but Larry's one of Larry's really good friends is a Rotarian there, and he can drive a truck. I found out later because he like backed it into a space that I probably would have went like off the ravine,
Beep,
and
beep.
and yeah, I mean he was killing it, and but they drove the truck to all these pickup points all throughout the entire district. I mean, through Kansas City, and it's like this caravan is what they called it.
Yeah,
And they gather all the shoes. I think it's shoes is the main thing, and then socks and
yeah.
shoelaces and stuff like that. And their goal at the beginning of the year was to do 25,000 pairs of shoes. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of shoes. So I'm
That's
in
a lot of
there.
shoes.
Yeah, I'm in there, and you would not believe the amount of people. Like I said, Larry's son was there getting a step down off the top. I mean, pretty tall guy, just a great young man, just killing it. And but there were ladies in there that this was their passion, and they were like, "You stand over there, I'm gonna hand you these boxes," and you're like, "Yes, ma'am," and that's all you did was just
Yeah.
catch these boxes from these ladies, and they were just. It was such just a amazing experience. So we wound up finishing that up, and because it was a 53-foot truck, and the truck from UPS, which these guys they donate their time and energy, and they drive this truck from Kansas City down to Dallas, Texas. You know, we couldn't fit everything in. It was like I called it Larry's Tetris. You know what I mean? They were these UPS guys. They were just packing that thing full, but there were still some left. So there, and then they had some at the warehouse. So they're going to have to make a second trip down to
Wow.
Dallas with these shoes.
And
So
these are all going to orphans? Is that where the
all these are going to orphans. Yeah, all
what
these are
a
going to
what a
orphans.
huge impact that is, you know. Can you imagine not having shoes or having shoes that are don't fit anymore
You got to
or
cut
maybe
off
they're
the
worn
toes.
out, right?
Yeah,
And you probably wear Dockers and New Balance anyway, so or you're not quite that old yet.
I'm not that old yet. I'll catch up with you pretty shortly. But
Oh yeah,
no, they did
okay.
that. They did this thing that was. So I really didn't get it, but they not only send us shoes overseas and stuff like this, but they keep some for the community and stuff like that. Here at home. So I thought that that was neat.
That
But
is
I'll tell
neat.
you, I got done, and I had a nice walk. It's just a little bit of a walk down to where the buildings are. And I look over to the left, and there's a guy on a zero turn. I look over there, and zero turn. He's got Rotary on. I got, two or three guys that they're
Yeah.
out there with weed whackers. They got these pull behind buggies that everybody's out there, sanding and spray painting everything. They're getting the camp ready for the summer for these kids. And I was just like, and I said this when I got up there, and I'm not a podium guy. I sent you that picture earlier today. I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't a podium guy, man. But they managed to keep me behind the podium for good 2 to 3 minutes because I was absolutely touched, and I didn't. I was there to talk about membership,
Yeah.
but what I saw displayed pretty much everything that we've been preaching for since me and you met, we started doing this. And I told them, when I started the first Impact Club, um, you have this picture. Whenever you start something new, you have this picture in your mind of this utopian deal. This is what it's going to do.
Hmm.
It's everybody's going to say yes. This is how it's designed. Nothing ever fails. It's that kind of like perfect deal. And then you get into it, and it's not quite exactly what you want. You just have to keep striving for that. And I said this was probably as close to that experience that what I pictured than I could have
That's
that
super.
since I
That's
did it since 2018. And and then I told him, I said walk up, I see people mowing and weed whacking and painting, and I was kind of getting a little emotional, so I kind of had to get out of it, Todd. So I went, so I just got one question, and they're all kind of looking at me, and I'm kind of, because I get my voice is all quivering and stuff, and I said, just got one question. Do you think you could come to my house tomorrow?
yeah.
Because they're getting it done. I was just wondering if they could come help me
Hey,
get it
nothing
done
wrong with
too.
that, asking for a little bit
Yeah,
of extra help. Well, you know,
but
it's that engagement of those
oh
members,
man, yeah.
of people. Maybe they weren't all members. You know, that's one of the things that we don't always pay attention is the Rotary vision. It says that together, you know, people create change. Not you don't have to be in Rotary. It's always wonderful if we can have you coming back and being part of the bigger picture. It's that the impact that could be created though when people join
Mm.
people to make a difference. You know, we had yesterday. I participated in a project that we had going on. What it was we have a companion club that joined my club here just a little bit ago or just earlier this year, and
Latinos of
so
Action.
Latinos of Action. That's right.
Yeah,
With
great club.
Mariana Satal
Hmm.
is the club chair there, and my club is the Columbia Center Rotary in Kennewick, Washington. And so this group, they said, "Hey, we want to do a cleanup," and they got together with the Department of Transportation, and they got assigned a section of highway, like adopt a highway or something like that,
Yeah.
right? So we have this section of highway, and which, by the way, I learned later is a lot longer than you might think. And so we all loaded up. Mariana cooked a big breakfast. Her and some of her club members cooked a
Mm.
breakfast for everybody at her place. And so we had a nice morning gathering and coffee and juice and breakfast and we all loaded up, carpooled out to the highway. And I know a lot of clubs have done the cleanup. I'm just giving a summary of how it is. It's a hoot. If your club does clean up or you haven't had an opportunity to do it ever, it was a lot of fun. We picked up a lot of garbage, but also a
There was
lot
a
of
lot of
treasures.
bags in that video, man. You
There,
guys
and
got
that
a
was,
lot of
you
stuff.
drop the bags on the highway as you're going, and then that
Crazy.
was kind of the final. We finally just kind of rounded a bunch of them up at the end and put them there. But I'm gonna.
I just had a question about that because they gave you a yellow hat and an orange vest, right? And you were out just getting it done on the side of the highway, right?
Yes, they give you well, the Department of Transportation provides the equipment, the bags, the hats, the vests, and then of course we have to bring the work and dress appropriately. They got a little video that you watch ahead of time so you make sure everyone's safe.
Mm.
It was fun. So we've got I have done a highway cleanup in the past, and we had a little fundraiser tied to it. So I'm working on doing the same kind of a thing for this one. And that's I had done that with a different club. So this club that I'm in now, and now with Latinos of Action, I want to help do a little fundraising within the club. So what we're going to do is yesterday I brought home the goodies. All right, the stuff that
Okay.
wasn't garbage, a little toy here and there, a little this and that, a little fun, some tools.
Wow.
You'd be surprised at some of the neat stuff you get. So I bring in 2 or 3 bags of that into my garage and sit there and sort through that. And I've made like 5 gift boxes, 5 mystery boxes that
No.
each of them is themed, and some of it's good stuff, by the way, and some of it's, I mean, you gotta. I've done some repairs, and so they're just fun themed little gift baskets or boxes. I'm going to make a PowerPoint to kind of highlight them and put that in front of the group. And I do a little amateur auctioneering. So our plan is to do an auction at our club and see if we can raise a few bucks. Part of it for the companion club, and maybe they want to donate part of it to polio, and basically just have a good time because we'll get people to uh, donate. Mainly, they'll bid on things, and then the big fun is when they open that box and get to see what it might be and what and how close the description that I have on my PowerPoint is or isn't to the contents that are actually in the
That's
box.
so awesome. That is
I'll have to
so
put a
awesome. Trash
disclaimer on there.
treasure.
Contents in the box may not be depicted clearly with this photograph
That's
that
a,
I cropped online. So
oh, that
anyway,
would be really cool because you got
and I'll tell you, the
trash to
freeway, the
treasure.
highway, it was like
That's
super clean. We went back and I took that video that we posted online,
yeah.
and you could see a huge difference on how clean it was. And then you look down the ways or on the way back as we were driving back on the freeway, you could look on now you start looking on the side of the road, right? You're like, oh, that area, whoever adopted that part of the highway, they're doing a terrible job. And
Wow.
maybe, actually, our highways are pretty clean. We do get some, the Department of Corrections does a great job on the medians and keeping those up. Those are good, hardworking folks. And the volunteers, I thought it was great. We're looking forward to doing another one. And
I love it.
who knows? Maybe we can inspire some other Rotary clubs to adopt a section of highway because what a great way to spend a Saturday morning having some fun and breakfast. And only took a couple hours with a big group. We had fun.
You know, those little game shows that are on, and it's like, and now we're gonna play. Bob Barker was like, now we're gonna play the putting game or whatever it was, and now we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
play
yeah.
Plinko. It's up, so we need to go dun 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 dun, and now for Todd's trash to treasure auction. Just all
Trash
like
to
that.
treasure.
But you know what? That just
It'll be
absolutely,
like Don Pardo will come on. That's
yeah.
right, Patrick. And now you'll be able to get some old tires that you can put on. These
That's
may be
awesome.
flat, but they can be patched at any time if the price is right.
But I actually said something there, and it really kind of hit me when I was talking about it. And same thing with you. I said, I am absolutely 100% convinced that we don't have a membership problem.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
absolutely 100% convinced we don't have a membership problem because if I told them yesterday, I said, if I would have brought 10 prospects with me, all 10 would have joined. There's not a pl- and people always say, well, why would you pay to go do service somewhere? I can go do service for free. I can go do whatever.
You can
If you
join us. We'll
yeah,
let you do it for free.
if you could sit there on if you could have sat there and looked at the viewpoint I did, looking out over the whole group they're all in their shirts, they're sweating, they got the jeans, everybody's dirty, just having it. There's not a single person that I could have brought there that would have said, no, I don't want to be part of this. There's nobody on the planet. And that's the thing. We don't show people what we do. We tell them what our club does, but we don't show them what
Yeah.
we do.
Well, that's
And
telling
that
our
is,
story. Yeah.
yeah, you got to tell your story, but you got to tell it. I think the most impactful way to tell your story is to show them your story. If they can walk into your story, the prospects and the people and doing it, and see what I saw yesterday or see what you saw yesterday, you're walking into somebody's Rotary story, right? That's what a service project is. You're walking right in the middle of all of these people's Rotary story right there, and they will show you their heart. And if that doesn't touch you, then nothing will.
Well, you're
And
100% right. You know, the best thing you can do, and we've even mentioned this before, is
yeah,
not to tell everybody what you did or how great it was or whatever.
yeah,
Invite them ahead of time. It was pretty keen. We had some people that aren't Rotary members join us on the cleanup
mm-hmm.
yesterday. They're not Rotary members yet, maybe. At least they're volunteers, and that's accomplishing what it's really all about is
You missed it.
everybody pitching in and having fun and making a difference. And who knows, maybe they'll find their path and say, you know what, I want to do this more often and start showing up on a regular basis and helping us plan it. You brought up another thing is you can't imagine anybody going into what you went into this weekend and saying no. And I can tell you how you can imagine it. It's because nobody asks them.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's the
here's the other
thing.
thing. It's
We
funny
don't
because
we don't have a membership problem. We have a hesitancy problem. We
yes,
are just afraid to say, "Hey, do you want to be part of this?" And we shouldn't be. This isn't selling anything.
it was
You
the
don't
fun.
have to
It
be
was
a
the.
salesman. It's like, "Hey, I'm having
I
fun.
know.
You want to have fun too?"
I tell you, I was smiling really big here because it was. I don't know how to turn off sometimes. So Larry was sitting there talking to the head UPS driver that was there. He's been doing it for 12 years. This is a volunteer gig for them, man. You know what I mean? This is
And the
they
UPS
guys
guy
put
is
his
your
time.
buddy because his name's
Yeah,
Patrick, and he's
his
got
name is
on his
Patrick. Yeah, I
shirt
was
too,
telling you
right?
that earlier. I was like, we're Patrick squared. So I look over and I said, Larry, I said, is Patrick a Rotarian? And he kind of looks over and said, Patrick, are you a Rotarian? He goes, no. And I said, would you like to be? And everybody busted out laughing because they knew where it was going.
Yeah.
If you involved in service, you coming with us. I want you to be with us and stuff like that. So I was going to ask, but me and you have never had a problem asking because we're just to the point. You know what I mean? We need you. We want you here. But there's a gentleman at that conference. He was so awesome. He gave me the best compliment I ever got. He comes up and he goes, "Your speech today?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Was adequate."
It was adequate.
It was adequate. And I said, well, sir, thank goodness, because that's what I was striving for. You know what I mean? And then
Oh
he walked
yeah,
away and
yeah.
they looked over at me and they're like, that's the best compliment you've ever gotten. You know what I mean? For the guy. And he was teasing, of course, and having fun. But that gentleman um, said something to me later. We've said a ton of times, if you ask somebody, give them the gift of Rotary, to give them the gift of Rotary and stuff like this. And he took it from this other angle. And it just absolutely blew me away. And I said, we all like it when somebody comes up and says, "Hi, Todd, your shirt, that's a great looking shirt on you." And they're lying, but they're giving you a compliment because that shirt is trash. No, I'm just joking. I just messing with you.
Thanks.
Or they come up and say, "Patrick, your hair looks great," or whatever. They're giving you a compliment. They're paying you a compliment. People just love to hear compliments about themselves. And the
Oh,
and the
sure.
man said to me, he said, "You're giving somebody the best compliment in the world. You're complimenting them when you invite them to join Rotary." And I went, "Holy cow."
That,
I mean, you really are. You're saying your character, your attitude, your heart, your determination, your integrity, your everything, we want you to join us. I mean, because they're paying you you're paying somebody the best compliment in the world by asking them to join Rotary. And I thought that was I mean, I've been doing this for a while now. I mean, a hot minute. And we've used that, given a gift to join the Rotary for a long time. And I never thought about it the way that he said it. And it was really kind of genius. Light bulb clicked for me. And it's funny because I get asked that all the time,
yeah.
how have you gotten good at this? I'm like, well, I've got my teeth kicked in for the last the last decade. I've gotten told no way more times than I told yes, but I keep learning. And what that gentleman taught me yesterday was just a slight shift in what everybody out here in the audience has heard before on a thing. Just a slight little, you're paying that person a compliment by asking them. And it really, just that little slight turn on that
Hmm.
will make a big difference to a lot of people in helping them ask somebody to join. You're really paying them a compliment. And
That's a good
so,
point. And you know what also goes on if you've ever been asked to serve as a board member or
oh,
president
yeah. Mm-hmm.
or if you're inviting someone to join the board or the district or whatever, that is a sincere compliment to have that
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. And sometimes people brush it off. You know, being the president of a Rotary Club, it really is a big deal. It's a big honor and it's a big deal. And you know, we hear people like, "Oh, I became president because I didn't show up to the meeting or something." I think they're just being humble, and if you really believe that, maybe that's the way it is. I gotta believe though that inside you look at it and say, I this is an honor, and maybe they're just uncomfortable or frightened to say, and I want to take it to the next level. I really think I can make a difference. And when we talk to presidents and president-elects, like, hey, or any job, the membership chair, the foundation chair, if you want to make a difference, that's what you should do. Then try to make a difference, and don't get all this stuff in your way that makes you think of, oh, such and such is going to look at me poorly because I'm a go-getter. There goes the company guy. Get over that. I mean, really, to make a difference, to make an impact,
And
somebody
impact,
has to say, I'm going to do it. And then
that's right.
say, why the heck not me? And so there you go. If it's going to be,
Well,
it's up to
Brian,
me, right?
yeah, well, Brian Holland, and we had Brian and then we had Stephanie Urchek on, and both of them had brought that point up. It's like
Hmm.
the biggest pet peeve. And I had to kind of look hard at myself on that deal too, because I never said, well, I missed a meeting and I become president. I didn't say that. But a lot of times I kind of self-deprecate myself, you know what I mean, kind of do that. And I think it's because I overcompensate for my personality because I'm like, hey man, right
Yeah.
out
Oh,
there in
yeah.
front of everybody. So I'll kind of be like this. When I think that if I showed, if I show the confidence that I show when I'm on stage, um, I think that helps more people because they're willing to listen to somebody who's uh confident, not somebody who's, just kind of. kind of going through the motions there. So, I learned a lot from that, listening to Brian and
Mhm.
you especially, and Stephanie. And you can take a lot out of that conversation to just say, you know what, huge compliment. I said this. I was watching. I don't know if I told you this, but I was watching Steven Spielberg, Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo
Oh,
DiCaprio.
that's
Did
a
you
good
see
movie.
that?
I
Great
like that.
movie, great movie. And his mom, that chain-spoken mom, and she's like, "Yes, that's so and so. He's the president of the Rotary Club." They like said it like 3 or 4 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Like it was this great big
Well, that's
deal.
the opening part of the scene. He's at a
Yep.
Rotary meeting,
Yeah. It
and he
was.
goes, two little mice fell in a bucket of milk or something, right? Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that
It's
was
a. What's the guy's name? I'll never remember. But you'll wind up texting me later and telling me what it is.
oh yeah.
But no, I think there's this generational shift that we're having right now in Rotary, and I'm not overplaying it. I've just been in the muck and the mud for the last like 6 to 7 years, and I think you've heard me say before that the wind is at our back because I kind of finally feel a little bit of momentum. And I think it kind of goes deeper, a little deeper than that too. I think people have added up to here with not being able to pour their hearts into what they want Rotary to be. So they're deciding I'm going to create the Rotary that I want. And it's something really pure and magical when you see somebody say, enough, this is the Rotary that I want, and they go create it. It is like fire. I mean, it's just like fire. And these districts that we've gone into, I mean, you've gone into, and our whole team, Laura, Carey, and everybody gone into that have never created a satellite or companion club or never have innovated really, never had a cause-based club or anything. And you get in there and you just plant that seed, and the district governor just plants that seed, and then somebody takes that chance. And then all of a sudden, it just starts to multiply in each one. And so, if you're a district governor or DGE or district governor elect or anything that's out there, if you even think about just if you've never done that in your district, just allow the club creation team to come in and just with you and plant that seed.
Well, and that's
And
exactly what we
that's
do.
it. Yeah, that's it.
You got permission to create whatever kind of club you want. The key is to make it available. Make it if you want to make something, you want to make a companion club or a standalone club or even start a Rotaract club, you can do that. And you mentioned the club creation team. So let's get a little bit of details on that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's clubcreationteam.org, or you can
Hmm.
find the Club Creation Team or North America Club Creation Team on our Facebook page, North America Club Creation Team. Go to Facebook. There's a link you can click on there for either your iPhone or your Android, or you can search in the App Store, the Play Store, whatever, or you can just give us a call or comment on this video here, and we'll get you a connection. You download this app on your phone or your computer and fill out your little information, your email, and a little bit about what club you're with, and then book a step one. And that is just setting an appointment where we're going to have a little video call that lasts between 15 minutes and 45 minutes, or who knows, however long you want it to last. And we start talking to you about ways that we can. Oh, and look, for a limited time only, it's free.
It's always free. It's been
Okay,
free.
unlimited time. But that's not all. And so you're going to book an appointment. You just book a call is what you're doing. It's a video call with one of us in the club creation team. We've got like 30 people on the team right now. We're just adding another four, I think,
Oh, I'm super excited about
or
that class
more.
that you and
Well, we're
Laura
going to be
brought
introducing them when we bring them on.
in.
We've got some processes, but you book that call. We'll talk to you about what it is you're looking for. If you want to build a new club, or you want to add a satellite or companion club, impact club, Rotaract club, or hey, maybe you just want to take your club and do what we call a club refresh. We sit and talk about what's going on in your world, where you feel the issues are, or what struggles you're having, or fears, and we put it all on the table. and then say, hey, let's rebuild this together. Believe me, we've talked to a zillion clubs. I don't know how many we talk to every week. We're there and we hear their ideas too, and you get to get part of those. And together, we're all going to make a difference. We're going to make an
Oh
impact.
yeah.
And that is what we're talking about. Impact in the community, impact across the globe, impact to different lives, impact within your club. And we do that by engaging, right? We talk about that where we get together,
Mhm.
and how much fun we have engaging, and by spreading the word. So there you go. That's your pitch. I'm asking. And I want you to say yes. Be one of those people that Patrick says can't walk in the room without saying yes. That's who we're looking for. Just say yes, get on there, book that step one, and let us
15
help your
minutes,
club
man.
go crazy.
Yep. 15 minutes. Is it worth 15 minutes of your time to sit down with somebody who's absolutely nuts about membership? That's our passion in Rotary. 15 minutes. If it's one Rotarian to another, could you give me, Todd, Laura, anybody, Michelle,
Yep.
everybody, Sean, just whoever you get, can you give them 15 minutes just to tell them about your club? That's it. It's gotta be worth 15 minutes, especially when a
At,
Rotarian's asking you.
at least you're just talking about your club. That's 15
Yeah.
minutes. How about just 15 minutes just to have a conversation with
Yeah.
anybody,
With anybody.
you
I
know?
love it.
And it might go longer if you want. We're here for you. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's the pitch. That's our wrap up, I think, this week. Impact and engagement and just jumping in and saying it's okay to make it happen. And don't be shy. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. If you love your club and you're enjoying your time at Rotary and your journey, then tell somebody else and let them be part of it. Invite them, compliment them. Right? Is that what you said,
Yes, sir.
Patrick?
Yes, sir. Give them a compliment. Best compliment of their life.
So, Patrick, you're on a trip. You're heading out to some other district here this week.
5010.
So, up in
Alaska.
Alaska. Go to
Alaska.
Alaska. I've
North
got
to Alaska.
5080 is our district conference this coming weekend
Yeah,
in
you get to you could do,
Sandpoint, Idaho. I'm excited about that. Should be beautiful up there. And we'll try to
and then
sneak in.
don't you go to another district conference? You're presenting at another district conference out there?
Oh, the following week. Yeah,
The
up in
following.
Victoria, British Columbia. So that should be beautiful. I haven't been up in that area for many, 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 many years, and probably be nice weather. So and definitely always in Canada, just the nicest people. So
Nice to
have a
speak.
wonderful time up there. So well,
If
that's
they
a wrap
say
for
if
us.
they
What's
look
that?
at you, Todd, if they look at you, Todd, and say "take off, hoser," then
Yeah,
you
I
know what
know.
that means.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know what that means.
We'll be back next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We load this on our YouTube channel, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Impact Studios, and it also goes live on our Facebook page, which is the North American Club Creation Team. And there's a link on there. You can go back and see our old episodes. We're almost wrapping up season 3 here in another couple episodes. You go back and look at those past episodes of all these nice guests, amazing guests, professional athletes to presidents of Rotary International to you name it. We've had a lot of them on there. We're always looking for new guests to join us. So we'll see you next week. Any final words, Patrick? How about
Thanks.
just say yes?
Just say yes.
All right, I'm out of here. Have a great day, buddy. Travel
Turn that
safe.
music back on.
Let's do it. Okay, there you go. Are you going to do some? There he goes. There he goes. You're feeling it. You're feeling it. All
Get out
right.
of here.
Bye.